Train to catch, you know.
There's a cab rank at the end of the street.
No cabs. And you think I'm made of money?
My present.
Oh, bloody hell. Here.
Next time you're in London?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway. Shift.
Madness, really. Oh, it will be like a holiday. Yes?
Mrs. Forrest, from the home.
Yes. You're early.
Well, it's best to be, I always say. Is she ready?
Yes. Yes, I'll fetch your coat.
You know our terms.
They told me.
A payment in advance, first of every quarter. Any failure and the child will be sent back to you. You're sure the money's all right?
Yes.
Well, we don't come cheap.
You will have your money.
So long as you're sure. Well, I think we better be on our way. I wouldn't like her to start off by missing her dinner. Oh, these are things. Come on then, my dear.
Leslee.
She speaks English, doesn't she?
Oh, yes, but with me.
Blind and foreign speaking. I couldn't take that on.
Bloody here.
Nine, Liebchen. This is the kind lady I told you about. She's going to look after you. For a little while, Ilse. You live in a big house, in the country, with lots of other children.
Und werde ich dich wiedersehen?
Bald. Sehr bald. Soon. Very soon. Take her, please.
Ilse, is it?
Ilse.
I think we'll be calling you Lucy. Something nice like that.
After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone, many a heart is aching.
Here. Are you a foreigner? I bet you are.
If you like.
You're a foreigner. If you like. I bet you know a trick, eh? I bet you know a trick.
Quietly. A trick or two, but first we must.
Come Come on, come on. Come on.
Not here.
Hey,
Not here.
I got money, huh?
Yes, yes. Now be quiet.
Come on.
Who's that? Never you mind about that. Just look at you. Never be ready. I don't know what you do with your time. Really, I don't.
It was that German woman, wasn't it?
Oh, Lord, I nearly forgot. And after me going out special for it, too. Louise.
Mother,
Oh, that's a nice bit of ribbon, that is. Real velvet, you know. And your grandma's brooch. So mind you take care of it. Sets it off nicely, that does.
that's too tight. You're pulling it too tight. Mother!
Ah, it's meant to be. Not called a choker for nothing, my girl. Now, you just take a look at that. Aren't you the lovely one? Like a princess yourself. I don't like you going out this late, though. I don't really.
Mother.
People about these days, horrible people.
German woman, she's...
A young girl like you shouldn't talk about people like that.
But there's a man in there with her again.
Got your cab fare? Don't you go coming home late now. To hear, you have me worried to death.
Johnny will fetch me back. You give her money.
You just watch out for yourself with that young man. Do you hear? Nasty baby, for all I know, and I'm sure he is. They're all the same. They're all alike under the skin. So I want you back here by... I want you back... Did you hear that? It's nothing. No. Nothing. Nothing at all. It'll be the old woman in the basement scrapping with her husband. That's what it'll be.
The basement it came from.
But this head soon as mended. Come on, love. You're late enough already. You'll never get a cab. Not this time of night.
Take care now, Mother. Keep the door locked.
It's you that needs to take care.
Right, Mrs. Brigger?
Off out, are you, dear?
That's right. Of brandy, please.
going out, Mrs. Herman.
Take care of that trunk. Do you hear? Contains treasures of mine.
Not leaving, are you?
A better house than this. This place is not suitable.
Whatever's the matter?
Oh, be quiet, Louise.
Something in the street?
I've made up my mind, once and for all. And about time too, some people might say. I won't be long. Keep this door locked, will you?
A body, I thought you said, Mrs. Hutchins.
Well, I'm sure.
Only wish people would mind their own business. Women.
Sergeant, she's got another room.
Have you?
The landlady, I asked her.
Have I what?
2 rooms, she said.
Do you rent a further room in this house?
How could I afford 2 rooms?
The keys are on the shelf.
Keys, Mrs. Herman. If you please.
Will no one let me live?
Here we are, sir.
Good lad. Do you want to lead the way, Mrs. Herman? Let's have a little light on the scene, Constable.
Yes, sir.
Enough's enough, lad. You'll have every gawper in London peering in. This trunk your property? Let's see.
Bleeding freezing in here. English weather.
Now then,
What?
language. Get this down, you warm me up.
Cold. Stone cold.
Them kitchens is miles.
Pigsville. Cold Pigsville.
Take it or leave it, there'd be nothing else.
Is this a zoo that I must be watched?
Not my choosing. Certainly is not. You're a special, my dear, and I'm specialing you.
No.
When your trial's over, there'd be 2 of us keeping an eye on you. Day and night. And you, there's this to be said, you choose your grub then, all right? Pepper's what's got you in here, my girl, and it's not going to get you out again now, is it? Not ladylike, Mrs. Herman. Not ladylike at all. I'll get you a cloth and a bucket.
Whatever, whoever, she'll hang.
Of course she'll hang. Damn disgrace if she didn't. All the same.
In the meantime, much attention will be paid.
To whoever set up the defense, the thought would have occurred to more than one solicitor, mark my word.
Then there's no time to be lost, Mr. Newton. Any thought as to a barrister?
One step at a time, Bishop.
Due respect, sir. 2 steps at the same time. Eldon Banks, QC.
Too clever. Wouldn't touch it.
Percival Clark.
Too dear. There'll be no money in this one.
Eustace Fulton.
Sees himself in a judge's robes, won't risk blotting his copybook.
Edward Marshall Hall.
Unpredictable. Nervy horse, that one. And if the going gets a bit heavy.
Which it will.
Throw out a line or two. See who bites.
You may very well take that view, Mr. Bowker. But I ask you this. Have you ever known my principal be wrong in such a thing? If he gives a mark of his favour to any barrister, that man's made his fortune. Is that true now, or isn't it?
We're doing quite well enough, thank you, Mr. Bishop, without any favours from Mr. Newton. Middling is where the money is.
Let's see now, what's he done? 3 frauds, 4 burglaries.
Very big sums of money involved.
Stolen goods in Sussex.
All well reported.
In the Mugthorpe Bugler.
And each brief handsomely marked. What, sort of fee is your principal in mind?
Money isn't what this case is about. It is about fame.
Is it now? How much coal does that put in the scuttle? How much is the brief marked at?
Not above 10 guineas, if that.
And no refreshers?
No.
I'm taking up your valuable time, Mr. Bishop. I doubt you have many other clerks you want to see.
On the other hand, we might very well get up a defence fund.
For her?
Mr. Bowker, sit down. You know and I know that this is the case of the century. Now, forget about the money. What I'm doing now, Mr. Bowker, is offering you on a plate fame, fortune, and the eyes of the world, all on your gentleman. Are you walking away from that?
She'll hang.
We know that. But a good, steady defense. Bit of dignity. You know what I mean, I'm sure. And all reported in every newspaper in the land, word for word. Ooh, what a chance.
The other half?
I don't see why not.
How dare! Oh, dare! Out! 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 Get out of my sight! All over the Inns of Court, this brief has been rejected by every barrister who can stand on his hind legs and gabble a speech, and you have the sheer bloody temerity to fetch it to me!
This is not proper, sir.
Proper!
Mr. Newton has said...
To hell with Mr. Newton!
I do apologise for this, sir.
Edgar, I'm sorry.
Mr. Marshall Hall, if you decline this brief, you will be the sorriest man that ever lived. My name is Arthur Newton.
Oh.
A moment of your time, if you please, sir.
Certainly.
That she is guilty is beyond dispute, and she will hang for it. All this we know.
Precisely, the case is open and shut.
But the man who defends her...
will make a laughing stock of himself.
Not necessarily.
What advantage? What possible advantage?
Oh, of a pretty healthy defence fund. The brief's marked at 10 guineas, but refreshers should build that up nicely.
My fee book's healthy enough. Money does not tempt me, Mr. Newton.
The case would be widely reported.
I don't doubt it.
Fame, Mr. Marshall Hall. Fame. There's nothing I can say.
Nothing.
Well, I tried at least.
You did indeed.
Of course, you're right. You're perfectly right. The woman is of no consequence whatsoever. Whether she lives or dies, who cares?
I would never say a thing like that. Every life is of consequence.
A whore, hard-bitten, avaricious, and she is all those things, and more. No, 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 no. A woman such as that is worth no more consideration than the mud in the gutter.
I find that a deeply offensive remark, Mr. Newton.
Really?
Deeply, deeply offensive. My clerk will show you out.
Offensive or not, you will not lift a finger to help her. She is alone. And I have scoured the inns of court. Of course I have. And do you know there is not one man who will speak for her? Not one. Thank you for your time, Mr. Marshal Hall.
Mr. Newton. Sit down.
Mrs. Herman, I want you to meet your defending counsel, Mr. Edward Marshal Hall.
I thought you were defending me.
I'm a solicitor, not a barrister.
So?
Well, I may not appear in a higher court. However, Mr. Marshal...
All a waste.
I do hope not, Mrs. Herman. May I sit?
Can I stop you? You said you'd raise money for me.
Your defense? Yes.
How much did you get?
Let's not worry too much about the money, shall we?
Oh, enough.
Now, Mrs. Herman, I need you to tell me exactly what happened from the moment that you met the man Stevens until his death.
I will want an account of all that money.
Mrs. Herman, please.
True account. I don't want any stealing from me.
From the moment that you first met...
What does it matter? You will hang me! All of you will hang me! I'm the German whore! The murderess! Doesn't everyone say so? Now listen. I want that money used properly. For my children.
It's hopeless. This Crown evidence against her is quite overwhelming. The woman seems to be utterly without merit. Not a single witness we can call on her behalf.
I warned you when I briefed you.
From her, nothing, nothing. Just on and on about her children. Children. Very well. If she will not tell me what happened, I must see that scene for myself.
Straightforward. No fuss.
But we have to try, Newton, don't we? Now, these Crown witnesses, we have to find out everything we can about them.
Best of luck, sir.
Don't forget now. Stay on the lines we agreed. Straightforward, no fuss. No fireworks.
It's time.
Now. Fetch up the prisoner.
The facts in this sordid, distasteful and repellent case are straightforward enough. Prisoner at the bar is an Austrian by birth, though she has been resident in this country for some years. Charles Anthony Stevens, of whose murder the prisoner is charged, was a retired hansom cab proprietor. There is no evidence that up to March the 15th last he and the prisoner had ever met, but that they met on that fateful night, there can be no question. On March 17th, in a room taken by the prisoner, in a tightly corded trunk which was the property of the prisoner, the dead body of the said Charles Anthony Stevens was discovered. After this discovery, a doctor was quickly summoned, and the body being examined by him, there were found on the right side of the deceased head many and terrible injuries. On the left forearm, 2 further injuries were noted. Gentlemen of the jury, I shall be suggesting to you that the deceased's left forearm was raised over the right side of his head to ward off a most violent assault. In addition to those injuries, there were 3 bruises, one on the right eye, one on the nose, and one under the lower jaw. It was unquestionable, according to the doctor at the scene of discovery and other medical men who examined the corpse, that death was due to a massive hemorrhage resulting from the 6 wounds to the head. These wounds were consistent with those which would have been inflicted by some heavy and blunt instrument, such as, for example, a poker. The scene will now, I'm sure, be vivid enough in your minds. The deceased, an old man of 70 years of age, is seated in a room at number 51 Grafton Street, leased by the prisoner. Then, from behind his back, without cry or warning, vicious, savage, terrible blows rain down upon him. He lifts his arm against them, but still they fall. He shouts for mercy, and mercy there is none. Why, we must ask ourselves? Why this heartlessness? Why were these savage, incessant, and deadly blows rained on this old man? What motive for this malign execution? We need seek motive at no great distance. For there are facts in the case, gentlemen, facts. On March 15th last, prisoner was in such desperate want of money that she was reduced to pawning the very coat off her back. But on March 17th last, she was in possession of such sums of money that were far, far in excess of what could possibly have been gained by that desperate transaction. Item: money was paid up by her in lieu of notice when she so suddenly abandoned the lease on her rooms in Grafton Street. Item: money was laid out by her for the purchase of furniture for her new abode. Now, where, you must ask yourselves, did these monies come from? Where? Abject poverty, profound need before the death of Charles Anthony Stevens, and comparative riches after it. And a witness will be brought before you who will swear that Stevens was in the habit of carrying large sums of money on his person. Unless you resolve that the prisoner's affluence came from the body of the deceased, There can be no answer to your proper question. The prisoner made certain statements at the time of her arrest. She said that deceased tried to strangle her and that she hit him with a poker to defend herself, and afterwards fetched some brandy in an attempt to revive him. She also claimed that he had struck her with that same poker and indicated a contusion on the side of her head as evidence of this assault. It is true that there was some such bump on her forehead, but medical evidence will be brought before you to prove that it was not caused by any such violent assault. There were, however, some marks on the prisoner's throat, and these might only, mark you, have been caused by the grasp of hands around it. The grasp, perhaps, made by a dying, driven old man, attempting at the last to save himself from a hideous death. I shall call witnesses who will prove to you beyond any reasonable doubt that the woman Marie Herman, the prisoner at the bar, did, on the night of March 15th last, willfully and wantonly, driven by her insensate greed for monies, known by her to have been in Charles Anthony Stevens' possession, by a series of murderous blows, very well then, lethal blows, she brings about his death. And then I shall prove to you that in a most foul and unnatural cold-bloodedness she ransacked the battered and bloody corpse, bundled it into an old trunk, and had it carted away to some new abode, some new resort, along with the rest of her traps. Her purpose, coldly arrived at, coldly achieved, was concealment. There is no argument whatsoever on that score, and gentlemen, hold fast. In the days that follow, hold fast, I say, to this sure and certain rock of truth, that the very act of concealment holds her guilt to the very skies, to the steps of the throne of the everlasting judge. There can be only one verdict in this case. Henry Anthony Stevens.
Right.
Answer yes or no, please, to my questions, and to those of my learned friend.
Oh, yes then.
Thank you. And you are the son of the late Charles Anthony Stevens?
He was my dad. Yes. Oh, yes. I'm his son.
And what was your father's profession?
He used to run hansom cabs, didn't he? He retired from it, though, best part of 7 years gone.
And what was your father's age at the time of his death?
71 he would have been.
And he was in good health?
Oh, fit as a lop. Yes. He was in very good health.
An active man, would you say?
Very active, yes.
And could you tell the court of the tragic event that overtook your father in January last?
What?
Your father's sad loss.
Oh, yeah. My mum died.
Your father was now a very lonely man, was he not?
Terrible lonely, yes. He was all on his own, really, poor old man. Apart from his ever-loving family and friends.
Quite so. And tell me, was your father in the habit of carrying large sums of money on his person?
I warned him time and time again, I did. He never set foot without £50 in his pocket. That was all in gold and silver, too.
A witness will swear that as your father entered the house at number 51 Grafton Street on the night of his death, he was under the influence of strong drink. Tell me, was he often in that state?
No, sir. Only since my poor mum was took. He was trying to forget, you see. Poor old man.
And when in drink, was his behaviour in any way different from his customary behaviour? Did his mood change?
Oh, yes, I should say so.
In what way?
Well, jolly like he'd be. Hail fellow, well met, drinks all round, that sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Not precisely, but I follow your gist. He was not quarrelsome.
Him? No, never a cross word.
And when did you last see him alive?
That very afternoon.
The afternoon of the 15th of March?
Yes.
And he was in his usual health?
Yes. Yes, he was in his usual health.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Stevens,
I appear, I'm
afraid to have mislaid some of my notes. I wonder if you could assist me by telling the court of your profession.
Horse trainer, aren't I?
I don't know. Are you? Is that what you do?
Yes, that is what I do.
Thank you. Now, about your father. How tall was he?
About 5'10".
Quite tall, quite tall. And as near as you can tell us, of course, what was his weight?
Give or take, 16 stone.
And in good health? He was in good health?
I've already said so, haven't I?
Oh, indeed you have. I had forgotten. Forgive me. And I recall that you told us that he was of an active disposition.
Very active, yes.
So you have given us a picture of your father, a clear picture of an active man, a large man, a strong man. Would you say that was a true likeness?
True enough, yes.
We all are very grateful to you. Tell me, Mr. Stevens, merely that the picture may be complete, is it not true that your father, a man, as we now know, of abnormal strength for his years, had a most violent temper?
No.
Ah. I can, if you wish, summon witnesses who will swear.
You can summon who you like, it's a
Who will
lie.
swear that your father, when in drink, when in rage, would abuse, beat, throw about anyone who dared disagree with him, women in particular. He has done this time and again. He has been seen to do this. Must I call these witnesses, Mr. Stevens, who will swear that you are lying upon oath? Must I call them? They wait. Very well.
But he wasn't always like that.
Only when in drink? Only when he was drunk!
Sometimes.
Sometimes, then, when drunk, he would beat and abuse any woman who dared to disagree with him. Would he or would he not, when drunk?
Yes. But it was the loss of my poor mum.
Never mind the cause, he would do it. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, this money which you tell us that your father carried about with him, where did these large sums of money come from?
His business.
The cab business?
Yeah, that's right.
But he had retired from that business, you have told us so.
Well, he had money in the bank. He'd got money there, hadn't he? And he drew it out, I tell you. £50 in sovs. I was with him. I saw.
When were you with him when he withdrew these £50 in sovereigns from a bank?
Many a time.
Oh, a particular time, if you please. When?
2 days before that bitch killed him.
Mr. Stevens, I must warn you that
2
you
days?
must not...
2
Mr.
days?
Hall, I was addressing witnesses.
2 days?
Mr. Hall! Oh, go on.
2 days?
Yes.
Well, in those 2 days he could well have spent a lot.
Oh, not him.
Come, sir. This hale fellow, well-met character you have drawn for us, accustomed to buying drinks for a public houseful?
Not 50 quid's worth.
I see. Not like him to be generous, open-handed.
No.
A very different picture of your father is beginning to emerge, Mr. Stevens. However, let us pass from the spending of the money to its getting. Drawn from a bank, you say, this £50?
Yes.
I must repeat my earlier question to you. Where did these funds of your father's in that bank come from?
How do I know?
Oh, but you do know. Very well indeed you know. They came, did they not, from the profits of a house of prostitution? A disorderly house, your very parental home. And this infamous den was managed by your mother until the day of her death. Is that not true? Your father grew rich on the profits of a house of ill fame managed by his wife, your mother. Is that not the truth?
Well, it might have been. It might not have been.
Don't you live with one of these poor women at Albany Street?
No.
Don't you live with Amy Chase?
No.
I must remind you that you are on oath.
Mr. Matthews, what's this got to do with anything?
You must answer the question.
All right, then. No, I don't. I wasn't living with her. She was living with me.
Do not laugh! I must earnestly beg you not to laugh. A woman's life is at stake here. How many times have you been convicted of being drunk and disorderly?
2 or 3.
7 times, I put it to you, in the past 2 years.
I couldn't say. of a very bad memory.
Then I am glad to have refreshed it to the point where you now recall that your father was an active man, a hugely strong man, a drunkard living off immoral earnings, who would, if the mood so took him, inflict grievous bodily harm on any woman unfortunate enough to fall into his clutches, and that you yourself are no stranger to places such as this. Thank you, Mr. Steele. Dr. Taylor, these bruises found on the neck of my client when she was committed on this charge, how, in your professional opinion, were they sustained?
Following the example of my colleague, Dr. Walker, the prison physician, I placed my fingertips on those bruises on Mrs. Herman's throat.
And what did you find?
That my thumbs exactly covered the bruises.
She had been held then most violently by the throat?
She had been held, yes.
As if an attempt at strangulation had been made?
I cannot know that.
But you can know that sufficient force had been exercised against her to have produced death by strangulation had it been maintained. Yes? Can you know that?
There had been considerable force.
Thank you, Doctor. Now I must ask you, as a medical man, if you believe that an old man of 70 years of age, after he had been struck 6 times with some heavy instrument and had suffered in consequence wounds sufficient to bring about his death, would have had the strength left to inflict those bruises on my client's neck?
No, I do not believe that.
So, she must then, it follows, have been seized by the throat from in front before the blows were delivered.
So it would seem.
But, Doctor, the Crown has suggested that the fatal blows over the right ear were struck from behind. This was advanced by learned counsel on the strength of your evidence, Doctor. Is that not so?
Yes.
How then, when my client was held by this powerful and heavy man by her throat, did she contrive to get behind him, find the lethal instrument, and deliver the blows?
I cannot answer that. It would be supposition.
Oh, come, Doctor. You and your colleagues have not shied from supposition until now. However, I respect your reticence. The deceased had contusions on his left elbow and forearm, did he not?
Yes.
Is it not possible that this left arm of his was so hurt when he used it to ward off the blows directed at the right side of his head? Like this?
Well, of course. That's possible.
Thank you. What would then be impossible, though, is that the blows then came from behind. The only arm one could have used in those circumstances would have been the right arm. Like this. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yes. You are right, Doctor, to be reluctant to put before this jury matters which can only be supposition. But I want you to give me room now to put before you certain suppositions of my own. And I would ask you to bring to these suppositions all the scientific rigor of your mind. If there be any detail, however trivial, which you cannot scientifically accept, I entreat you to make your objection plain. Lift but a hand and I shall desist. Will you do this, so that truth and justice may be served?
Yes.
Thank you. There is a struggle between this small woman, this frail woman, stand up please, and this strong, violent, drunken man. He, true to his nature, seizes her by the throat, holds her fast, his hands tightening, choking. All her puny strength is draining from her as she desperately tries to pull away from him, but she cannot. Only moments of life are left now, moments. Then at the very last, a final effort takes him off balance and they fall to the ground, the man on top of her. But his hands, those great, strong, crushing hands, are still at her throat. Now, in the course of the fall, his left elbow strikes the ground and is bruised in that fall. But it is his elbow only that is injured, for his forearm is lying on the woman's right arm, pinning it to the ground.
Yes.
Thus constricted, she reaches out with her left arm, her hand stretching, grabbing for some means of defense.
Yes.
Finds and holds something, a fire iron in the grate. She grasps it, beats in pitiful self-defense at her assailant. 6 times she strikes, 6 blows, 6 desperate, life-gaining, random blows. And as you know, Doctor, forensic evidence has been laid before us that the wounds he suffered were not clean wounds, such as would have occurred had the blow struck been direct, decisive, and offensive. No. Those wild blows were struck with the imperfect power and directive force of the left hand. Well, Doctor, what in my account is impossible?
Nothing.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You must now answer this question. Dr. Taylor, is it possible that the fatal blows were frontally struck by my client's left hand?
Yes, it is possible.
Just as possible, in fact, as the previous supposition that they were struck from behind with her right hand.
Yes.
No further questions of this witness, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall Hall. Very well. You may stand down, Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, my lord.
It is now very late. I shall therefore adjourn. Today being Saturday, court will take up this heavy burden once more on Monday next in the forenoon at 10 in the morning of that day. All those who have business before this court do now depart and give their attendance again at 10 o'clock in the forenoon on Monday next. God save the Queen.
Can I get you anything to eat, sir?
Justice is not served, nor truth brought to light by idle suppositions such as those that have been brought before you by my learned friend, counsel for the defendant. The facts in the case, gentlemen, facts are all that may guide you, and those facts are damning. One thing is open and beyond any reasonable doubt whatsoever, and that thing is that Marie Herman did willfully, cruelly bludgeon Charles Anthony Stevens to death and then endeavor by all the means in her power to conceal the terrible proof of her crime. Has one tittle of evidence been entered to deny this? One? Hold fast to the facts, gentlemen. The duty before you is awesome, but you must do it. Not flinching, not turning away. You must find the prisoner at the bar guilty of murder.
Here are the notes for your speech.
Yes, yes. Facts, gentlemen of the jury. My learned friend sets great store by facts. Well, so do we all. But what are these facts? Two doctors have appeared before you. One sees these facts in one light, the other in a quite crucially different light. You heard them, and having heard them, you must decide which of these doctors has come upon the truth. But this I will say to you. Can you, dare you send this woman to her death on the evidence of one medical man? If a doctor were to tell you that you were suffering from some fatal disease, would you abandon all hope of life? Or would you not perhaps think it prudent to seek a second opinion? There are, in this case, other facts. The facts, for instance, brought forward in the evidence of Mrs. Hutchins, mother of that poor girl who first heard something of the events of the night in question. You saw her naked animosity toward the defendant, her disgust and abhorrence at her calling. More, she admitted it. You heard her repeat in answer to my questions that the defendant shouted in rage, in anger, the words, "Speak, speak, speak." But is it not possible that what she factually heard was more in the nature of speak, speak, oh, speak? Words spoken, I put it to you, in pity and despair. Is there a person who could believe that a woman who had inflicted such terrible injuries and who had awoken to the reality of what she had done could speak in terms of rage to her victim? No. Oh, no. The truth of this is that her poor, disordered mind had seized on the fact that the man was dying. And, prompted by womanly instinct, she was endeavoring to do what she could to succor him. That is the truth of it. The truth. His violent assault had brought her to the very gates of death, and alone, in extremis, she had defended herself. And yet, even now, she ministered to him. And when tearful entreaty was in vain, this hapless woman, represented to you by the Crown as being avaricious to the point of mania, bought brandy and sought his revival by its means. But it was not to be. And she has come at last to this place of judgment. There has been much prejudice in this sad case. In the newspapers, in their shrieking placards, in the gossip of the streets, this woman has already been judged and found guilty. And a prejudice such as this is a foul tide that rises from a sea of corruption, staining the very hem of the white robes of justice. Cleanse it from your hearts, from your minds, from all that is true and noble in this place. Gentlemen of the jury, I beg you to cast aside all prejudice because of this woman's way of life. I beg you to remember that women such as this are what we men make them. I beg you to remember that even this woman was once a beautiful and innocent child. But beauty is a flower that withers. Purity may be trampled into the dust, and innocence blasted by an evil wind. And she was once a woman of respect in her small world. She taught little children. She was mother, loving, devoted mother to 3 of her own. But that world was broken, smashed forever, when the man to whom she had given her love and her trust abandoned her. And she was left weeping on this alien shore, alone to feed and care for her children. And, gentlemen of the jury, one of those children is blind. Do you now point a finger of respectability at her? Dare you? She was driven to the streets by the bitter need to put bread into the mouths of her children and to find shelter for a blind girl. And at the end of those dusty, dreary, broken-hearted streets, there is a room in a common lodging house where a man, keeper of such a house as has encompassed her ruin, a violent man, a murderous man, is choking the very life from her body. What would you that she should do? What? Gentlemen of the jury, on the evidence before you, I almost dare you to find a verdict of murder. Look at her, gentlemen of the jury, look at her. God never gave her a chance. Won't you?
We have a verdict, sir.
Of the charge of murder, my lord, we find the prisoner not guilty. and we wish to enter a verdict of manslaughter. And we beg your lordship most strongly for clemency in your sentence.
Marshal! Marshal!
No, not now, Mr. Newton, if you please.
Listen, I must speak to him.
Not now, sir.
Listen!
If you wish to speak to Mr. Marshal Hall, we shall be in chambers tomorrow morning. Thank you, Mr. Newton.
Thank you, Barker.